Indians in Dolan. Sherwin-Williams has lied for 1 year. We've sat down with them for over a year, and we've tried to negotiate in good faith. We asked them for a key partner. They accepted that, Don Taylor from Welty and Gilbane, and for 11 months we negotiated with them, and then they just stopped talking to us, and we've heard all kind of rumors about they're saying that they would not be extorted. That's a word of racism for a contractor that has the capabilities and capacity who can do jobs, and then, you know, they just cut us off. I sat with Mauricus, the CEO and president of Sherwin-Williams. He assured us. They hired Gilbane, a company that has a track record of fraud, corruption, racism on projects going back as early as April this year in Boston, where they falsified documents saying that they use minorities on their contracts, and they do not. And then the day before we protested, after a year, they hired 5 contractors for some peanuts. So we like to see the contracts from all of the contractors at the Sherwin-Williams project. You know, they have a lot of our tax dollars. $100 million from Jobs Ohio, $88 million forgivable loan from the governor's office. You got $100 million from City of Brecksville. I think it's $125 million from the City of Cleveland. The City of Cleveland has already given them $25 million, and then now they're giving them another $100 million. So that's a lot of money, and the county has given up, I believe, 20 to 28 million. That's a lot of money. There's a wage disparity and a wage gap for blacks. We're not getting out of the hole. It's only getting deeper, and it's getting worse. They asked me for qualified people. I gave them a list of qualified contractors. Ozane and McTech are the only 2 contractors with capacity and capabilities in the city of Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and maybe in the state of Ohio, besides Smoot and Columbus. You have 3. That's it. So we sit down, they chose McTech. They chose McTech. And then they want to come around and they want to start. We are, Dr. Cavanis and some of the other ministers, about 100 ministers have contacted me. We are not going away. That project will not be built until they do the right thing, and hiring 5 companies for peanuts is not doing the right thing. So, you know, I just ask everybody, the city of Cleveland needs to change. I'm all for the Indians. I see you guys are doing that today. Dolan has reached out to me. I talked to Dan Gilbert on the phone. So I can talk to everybody, and Mauricus sat with me for breakfast, and we cut a deal. We have a commitment. I have paperwork with correspondence from a year. We cannot continue to go this way if you want to do better in the city of Cleveland as a whole. East Side is being left out. Blacks are being left out. Thank you.
Mr. Al Lewis.
I'd like to thank the Council for giving me a few minutes to speak. I represent Black Contractors Group. I'm a charter board member for Black Contractors. Been with them for over 20 years. I have background here in the city of Cleveland. I've been here over 60 years. I'm a graduate of the College of Worcester. My first job was working for a Fortune 500 company. I've got business background. I came here, I opened up a business 37 years ago. I've been former Business of the Year in the city of Cleveland, and I can't get a sniff from nobody. I can't get a sniff. The last 15, 20 years, nobody's given opportunities, nobody's given a piece, and we're out here. We're out here, Norm, the rest of the organizations, we just want an opportunity for our families, our neighborhoods, and our people also. And we just want people to understand, I don't want a free lunch. I'm only asking for pennies. I normally get I used to get 5 or 10% of a contract. I'd get down on my knees for that nowadays. And we just think organizations like Sherman-Williams should understand that there are civic partners here in the city of Cleveland, and they should give all of us an opportunity. And then closing, I'm gonna say, I got so many contractor friends, that's all they talk about. I gotta go down to Sherman-Williams to get my paint. I gotta go down to Sherman-Williams to get my paint. And I'm thinking, these people won't even give us a piece. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Lou?
Good evening. I really hope all the workforce in our county can all get their fair treatment. However, for the people already losing job, becoming homeless, what can they get? Yeah, even the food on the table is an issue. I already sent the documents with the PDF to all of you, and when you get a chance, you can see that. Shelter has rules, all kinds of rules, including the meal time. The meal time is set for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, each one 90 minutes. That's to accommodate people who has to go out to handle their business or to work. So public transportation or any other things may cause delays. Even that 90 minutes actually is not enough for today's situation. We have known that for a long time. However, from this PDF, you can see recently, serving window always close early. Not even serving whole 1 hour. And you can also see the food we get right now, yeah, it's a little bit more recognizable, but still, the arrangement to get the food becomes an issue. The other day, which you will see that in the PDF, I specified the date, time, and the location. You can see where I had to eat just because the staff think that the extra space, which they sometimes open for other purpose and to let people sit in, it was not available for me. Sometimes it's not available for other people as well. However, you will see another day, the same space I requested for me to go to eat. Guess what? The door wide open. If there is some security issue, a particular room has to be locked. How come when you can do it and we cannot use it? You lock it, you don't lock it, you even don't attend to it. You leave that wide open, but we cannot use it. That is a room actually to set up for activities. Sometimes we have to be there to eat as well because nowadays there's no COVID-19 measures. All the rooms are all full. There's no deconcentration for congregated shelters at all. So not only we cannot even get a job we probably could get, we are still struggling with all these ridiculous rules and regulations because the bad staff working in the shelter systems, they can do whatever they feel like it. I would just use myself and this particular location as an example. Thank you very much.
Faten O'Day.
Hello, my name is Faten Oda, and I am a resident of Cuyahoga County. I'm here to bring to your attention that our county is making some unsavory investments in an illegal foreign country that strips people of its human rights, have time and time again been found to commit illegal war crimes, and by all means is an illegal apartheid state. The investments I am referring to are the ones Cuyahoga County is making in Israel bonds. Not only is this investment a completely immoral one, but these investments are in direct violation of our government's fiduciary responsibility and obligation to be good stewards of the public purse. As my good friend and American Jew Eric Resnick said, one can and should argue that the only reason Israel bonds are purchased over domestic bonds or bonds from countries with higher return is to transfer U.S. taxpayer dollars to Israel, a nation that is not in need of our U.S. taxpayer dollars. One may also argue and should argue that our U.S. taxpayer dollars would be better spent on people who pay them, or at the very least be invested for a better return to benefit our people of Cuyahoga County. As an educator, I can name a number of ways we can better use our taxpayer dollars to benefit and invest in our future. As a human with a soul, I can name a number of ways we can use that money to help benefit the homeless, the hungry, and the destitute here in Cuyahoga County. I move that the good officials of Cuyahoga County do the ethical thing and cease any investments in Israel bonds immediately. The investments in Israel bonds are a complete and utter shame. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Don Bryant.
The Cuyahoga County Treasurer's mission, as stated on our county website, is to collect, invest, safeguard, and disperse monies in a legal, efficient, and professional manner. I submit to Cuyahoga County Council that our county treasurer's office has not acted prudently in their $19 million purchases of Israel bonds between 2006 and 2018 for two reasons. Israel bonds are not liquid, meaning they cannot be traded or sold until maturity. If Cuyahoga County were to face an economic deficit challenge, we could not consider cashing in on that $19 million anytime soon. Can our county afford to tie up that much money in investing in a foreign country? I further object to our county's investment in Israel bonds because of Israel's human rights record. Israel is the only country in the world that sends children to military tribunals where jurisprudence is compromised. In the military court system, there are no special interrogation procedures for children detained by the Israeli military, nor are there provisions for an attorney or even a member of the family to be present when a child is questioned. American Friends Service Committee reported recently that every year Israel prosecutes between 500 and 700 Palestinian children in military courts. The most common charge levied against children is throwing stones, a crime that is punishable under military law by up to 20 years in prison. Since 2000, more than 12,000 Palestinian children have been detained. This is no way to treat a child. Further, the 54-year-old Israeli occupation of indigenous Palestinian territories is not what democracy looks like. The U.S. is already financing Israeli military at $3.8 billion annually, which is an atrocity and sustains Israel's illegal occupation. Israel's treatment of Palestinians in Jerusalem and occupied territories is criminal and considered ethnic cleansing by human rights groups, including the Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Monitor and Humana for human rights and civil participation. The Israeli Human Rights Organization, B'Tselem, calls Israel an apartheid state. During Palestinian pro-democracy demonstrations in Gaza in 2018, Israeli snipers killed and injured Palestinians. As reported in the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, the sniper killed and injured. As reported in newspaper Haaretz, the ongoing confrontations in protest of Israel's siege of Gaza, Israeli snipers killed 215 demonstrators and injured nearly 8,000 with live ammunition, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Cuyahoga County should get on the right side of humanity and end all investments in Israel bonds. Thank you.
Mr. Michael Deemer.
Good evening, Council President Jones and members of Council. My name is Michael Deemer. I serve as President and CEO of Downtown Cleveland Alliance. I'm here today in support of the resolution being considered for first reading and being referred to committee regarding the issuance and sale of bonds on Progressive Field. I think everybody here is aware of what a asset and economic engine Progressive Field has been for downtown Cleveland. Anybody who remembers the contrast between the impact of having the ballpark on the lakefront and now having it in the heart of the Gateway neighborhood, you can really envision and understand the impact that it's had on creating a really vibrant community in downtown Cleveland and in the Gateway District specifically. The plan, as everybody knows, will extend the commitment to downtown Cleveland for 15 years and the potential for more. The impact that the park has on downtown is certainly significant in terms of the number of visitors that the park itself attracts, bringing in about 1.5 million people a year that support our small businesses, bars, shops, restaurants. But even more than that, it's been integral to helping us build a neighborhood in downtown Cleveland. We're now home to just over 20,000 residents in downtown. Over 2,500 of those residents reside within the Gateway District itself, and having that type of amenity, that ballpark there that's within walking distance and is kind of a neighborhood hangout as much as it is a visitor attraction, is a big piece of the downtown that we're trying to continue to build. I don't need to tell all of you how much small businesses have been starved for foot traffic over the last year and a half. The return of the ballpark this year really illustrated just how important the foot traffic that the ballpark generates is to our small businesses in downtown Cleveland. And of course, it's hard for us to remember here that the park's actually 27 years old. In a lot of ways, it feels like yesterday that it was just built in the heart of downtown Cleveland. It's one of the older parks in Major League Baseball. There's an opportunity here to bring it up to today's standards. And my hope, my vision as part of Downtown Cleveland Alliance is that Progressive Field really becomes one of the beloved institutions in Major League Baseball. You know, think Wrigley Field, Fenway Park. I think by keeping Progressive Field in the kind of modern conditions that the team in Major League Baseball want and need, we've got an opportunity in this community to have Progressive Field stand right alongside some of those really historic ballparks and continue to put our downtown and our city on the map. So I thank you for the opportunity to share some initial comments and feedback. I know there's a lot of consideration of that resolution that will take place in the coming days and weeks, and I urge your support and kind consideration. Thank you.
Mr. Terry Joyce.
Council President, council members, Terry Joyce, Business Manager, Labor's Local 310, and President of the Cleveland Building Trades. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me speak for a few minutes. Proud to back up Michael Deemer and the Downtown Cleveland Alliances and the business community in supporting the resolution in the first reading here in front of you. I was fortunate enough, along with members of Local 38, the men and women of the building trades, to have worked on that job 27 years ago. Hard to believe, it was before I got to wear these fancy shoes that I get to now, but I was working on that project, and like Michael said, it's even harder to believe that now I think we rate the 11th oldest stadium in Major League Baseball. You know, but it needs to be said, especially under the Dolan's stewardship and ownership, that park has received over $100 million of their money, which put a lot of men and women of the Cleveland building trades to work during their tenure. You know, I support the Cleveland Guardians officially now. I think Cleveland is incredibly lucky to have all three major league sports teams. I couldn't even imagine the overall economic impact that has on the city as a whole. I believe we're only one of 6 metropolitan areas that can say that they have 3 teams in the city itself. Some cities have it, but their stadiums are located many, many miles away from the downtown core. I'm sure we all remember when the Cavaliers were way out in Richfield, and how hard that was in the winter months to go watch professional basketball. But the stewards of our three sports teams were very lucky. As Mr. Edwards said, they're community-driven, they're community-minded, and we're really fortunate to have them here in this town. So we at the Cleveland Building Trades rise today to support this first resolution, and I appreciate your time, Council President.
At this time, Mr. Chair, that concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
Can I have a motion to approve our minutes from the September 14th Committee of the Whole and the September 14th regular meeting?
Second, motion.
Second, Simon.
All right. Been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Minutes are approved. At this time, a message from our county executive.
Thank you, Mr. President. For businesses to come to or grow in Cuyahoga County, they need places to locate. There's lots of property available, but much of that is brownfields, and the brownfields need to be cleaned up. I've heard Councilman Sharon talk a number of times about the necessity of brownfield remediation. In its budget, the state included $350 million for brownfield remediation and another $150 million for demolition. Each county will get $1 million for brownfield remediation and $500,000 for demolition. That leaves a pot of $262 million for brownfields and $106 million for demolition. Those funds will be open to applications. Our Economic Development Department is compiling a list of brownfield and demolition sites, which we'll use to apply for funds from the state. The state's still creating the criteria for obtaining these funds, but the law favors first come, first serve. So we'll be submitting our requests very soon in order to try to get to the front of the line. These funds should help us further our economic development efforts. Thank you.
Legislation introduced by council. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading.
Resolution 2021-0191, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
This item will move to the October 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2021-0196, again, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
This item will move to the October 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2021-0197, supporting an application for funding under the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space Conservation Program, available through the Ohio Public Works Commission on behalf of West Creek Conservancy, and it's for the conservation of ecologically significant areas in the Baldwin Creek Conservation Initiative in the city of Parma.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. This matter was heard in the Committee for the Environment, Sustainability, Education on Wednesday, and we hear these applications every year on behalf of communities in the county who are submitting to the Clean Ohio Fund Green Space, and we're going to hear 6 of these tonight throughout the county, and hope I have your support. And you know, we heard in the committee as well how significant these acquisition grants are to the communities and providing green space throughout the county.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
The following items, 2 through 6, under Council Rule 9C, allows for the reading of very similar items by abbreviated titles. Therefore, again, items 2 through 6 will be read into the record by abbreviated titles if there are no objections. Resolution 2021-0198, supporting an application for funding for the conservation of ecologically significant areas in the Mill Creek Greenway in the city of Warrensville Heights.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I spoke to these items.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2021-0199, supporting an application for funding for the conservation of ecologically significant areas in the West Creek Greenway in the city of Parma.
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2021-0200, supporting an application for funding for the conservation of ecologically significant areas in the Zachlon River Landing in the city of Cleveland.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0201, supporting an application for funding for the conservation of ecologically significant areas in the Huff Community Green Space in the city of Cleveland.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2021-0202, supporting an application for funding for the conservation of ecologically significant areas in the Shelter Hill Forest Springs in the village of Hunting Valley.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend rules 9D and 12A?
Mr. President, I move to suspend those rules.
Second, Simon.
Properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2021-0216, amending the 2020-2021 biennial operating budget for 2021 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations for appropriation transfers and cash transfers. Amending resolution number R 2021-0065, dated March 9th, 2021.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, my colleagues, this is the regular fiscal agenda of budget amendments. Most items are routine appropriations and closeouts of grants, routine transfers, and corrections. Notable is the appropriation of $1,455,000 from casino revenue for the 2021 Community Development Supplemental Grant Program, which funds 30 neighborhood projects. Also notable is the appropriation of $830,646 in opiate settlement funds for improvements at Oriana House for the temporary diversion center. Our questions to OBM have been answered and the answers circulated among the members. I recommend passage on first reading suspension.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0217, approving a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Communication Workers of America, Local 4340, Sheriff's Department Bargaining Unit, representing approximately 44 employees in various classifications at the Sheriff's Department, and it's for the period January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This item was previously discussed in executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2021-0218, amending the 2020-2021 biennial operating budget for 2021 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
All right. This item will be referred to the committee of the whole.
Resolution 2021-0219, authorizing the issuance and sale of one or more series of county sales tax revenue bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $202,500,000 for the purpose of paying or reimbursing the costs of reconstructing, refurbishing, renovating, upgrading, improving, and equipping Progressive Field, together with appurtenances and work incidental thereto, and for the purpose of paying any capitalized interest on the bonds, making any required reserve deposits, and paying the costs of an issuance in connection therewith.
This item is associated with the fiscal item previously discussed, and it will also be referred to the Committee of the Whole.
Resolution 2021-0220, authorizing the Director of Public Works to execute and submit a loan application in the amount of $3,359,000 to State of Ohio, Ohio Public Works Commission to finance a portion of various Pleasant Valley Road bridge projects in various municipalities, authorizing the county executive to accept said loan for items A through C as listed on the agenda.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2021-0221, making an award on requisition 6721 to Sona Construction LLC in the amount not to exceed $2,320,000 for modernization of elevators in Jail 2 at the Justice Center Complex.
This item will also be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2021-0222, authorizing an economic development fund redevelopment and modernization loan in the amount not to exceed $1 million to Manufacturing Advocacy and Growth Network for the redevelopment of a vacant building located at 1800 East 63rd Street, City of Cleveland, for the relocation of Magnet Manufacturing Technology and Job Center headquarters.
This item will be referred to the Economic Development and Planning Committee.
Resolution 2021-0223, authorizing an economic development fund redevelopment and modernization loan in the amount not to exceed $1 million to LG Blanket Mill, LLC, for the redevelopment of a vacant building located at 3160 West 33rd Street in the City of Cleveland for a mixed-use structure for the Northern Ohio Blanket Mills project.
This item will also be referred to Economic Development.
Resolution 2021-0224, authorizing contract number 1791 with Applewood Centers, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $926,647 for emergency respite and crisis bed services for youth referred to the Coordinated Approach to Misdemeanors program, and is for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee.
Resolution 2021-0225, authorizing an amendment to Agreement Number 204 with the Metro Health System for comprehensive medical services for families involved with Division of Children and Family Services. It's for the period January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2021, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2022, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,551,000.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2021-0226, authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for emergency shelter and rapid rehousing services in connection with the fiscal year 2017 Continuum of Care Homeless Assistance Grant Program. It's for the period June 1st, 2018 through May 31st, 2021, to extend the time period to May 31st, 2022, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $992,744 for the various providers listed A through D on the agenda.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2021-0227, making an award on requisition 5966 with Stella Maris, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $530,000 for temporary housing for homeless single adult males in Cuyahoga County with substance abuse issues for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee. Consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2021-0178, authorizing a contract with Thales Dis USA, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,464,358 for hardware and software maintenance and support services for the automated fingerprint identification system for the period January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, this was heard in committee last week for the medical examiner's office. It was installed, I believe, earlier this year. So this is just catching up to pay for these services that are being used not just in Cuyahoga County, but surrounding counties.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2021-0195, extending the appointment of Catherine Tkachik as interim director of the Department of Purchasing.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, Ms. Tkachik came before the Public Works Committee last week, and this extension will allow her to serve in this interim position until March 31st of 2022. Her current appointment is set to expire on September 30th, 2021, and she's more than qualified for this role, and I would ask my colleagues to support this legislation on second reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0206, confirming the county executive's appointments of various individuals to serve on the Commission of Human Rights for various terms for the following individuals: Chad M. Exbuler for the term March 1st, 2021 through February 28th, 2024. Natalia Steele for the term March 1st, 2021 through February 28th, 2023. And Elise Hara Avil for the term March 1st, 2021 through February 28th, 2022.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, this was heard in the HR committee, and instead of the chairwoman, recommendation is for adoption of these three individuals for this purpose.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0207, confirming the county executive's appointment of E. Harry Walker, M.D., to serve on the Metro Health System Board of Trustees for an unexpired term ending March 4th, 2025.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, once again, Dr. Walker appeared before the HR committee last week, and it was unanimously ruled to move forward to this board for appointment.
Mr. President?
Yes.
You add my name as a co-sponsor. I had the privilege of.
Please add Councilman Sweeney's name. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0208, confirming the county executive's reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for the term July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2025. The following individuals are Reginald C. Blue and Harvey A. Snyder.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Again, Mr. President, these individuals were heard for these appointments in HR last week, and a recommendation was for appointment.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2021-0209, confirming the county executive's appointment of Lenora M. Lockett upon her taking the oath of office as Director of the Department of Equity and Inclusion.
Move to adopt.
Councilwoman Conwell, if you could turn your microphone on. Couldn't hear that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Like my name added.
Yes, let's please add Councilwoman Conwell's name, and please add my name as well.
Mr. President, my name as well, please.
President, please add my name as well.
All right, Clerk, did you keep up with all of that?
For the record, we are adding Councilwoman Conwell, Councilman Miller, Councilman Tuma, and Council President Jones.
All right. So we've had a motion. Moved and seconded. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Lenore Lockett is our new Director of the Department of Equity and Inclusion. Again, thank you. Congratulations.
Happy birthday.
Resolution 2021-0211, authorizing an amendment to contract number 1689 with the Savron Group, LLC, for lease of office space located at 12100 Snow Road in Parma for use by Fiscal Office Auto Title Bureau Satellite Office Number 4 for the period November 1st, 2006 through October 31st, 2021, to assign interest to Enterprise BMV LLC effective November 1st, 2021, to extend the time period to October 31st, 2026, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $333,182.16.
Motion to adopt.
Second, Conwell.
Mr. President, Mr. John Myers came before Public Works on September 22nd, 2021, and this lease amendment is for the Auto Title Bureau located at 12100 Snow Road in Parma. It extends the period for 5 additional years. Current lease expires on October 31st of this year. The space is for 3,124 square feet. It's used as an Auto Title Bureau, and the project is funded 100% by the general fund, and I would ask my colleagues' support on moving this on second reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. President, at this time, I would request that we go back to item number, Resolution 2021-0209, and at this time, County Executive Armin Budish will swear in Lenora Lockett.
Yes, yes.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Lenora M. Lockett,
I, Lenora M. Lockett,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
uphold,
uphold,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and laws
and the Charter and laws
of Cuyahoga County, Ohio,
of Cuyahoga County, Ohio,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
diligently,
diligently,
and impartially
and impartially
perform and discharge
perform and discharge
all of the powers and duties
all the powers and duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as Director, Department of Equity and Inclusion
as Director, Department of Equity and Inclusion
in and for the County of Cuyahoga,
in and for the County of Cuyahoga,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding,
and understanding,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
So thank you.
What a birthday present.
And again, thank you for your willingness to serve, Lenora.
Moving on to Resolution 2021-0212, authorizing an amendment to contract number 1255 with K&Z Mutual Realty LLC as successor in interest to Mutual Investment Properties LLC for lease of office space located at 9830 Lorraine Avenue, Cleveland, for the period October 1st, 2006 through September 30th, 2021, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2026, to add a provision for an option to purchase premises and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,617,000.
Motion to adopt. And Mr. President, this extension will continue the arrangement until September 30th, 2026, which is 5 additional years. The building houses the West Side Neighborhood Family Service Center for HHS, Cuyahoga Job and Family Services, and Personnel Review Commission, or known as the PRC. Space is 31,362 square feet, and it's 100% funded by the public assistance funds. I would ask for my colleagues' support on this piece of legislation on second reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2021-0213, authorizing an amendment to an agreement with Progressive Casualty Insurance Company for lease of land and corporate hangar facility at the Cuyahoga County Airport, located at 26340 Curtis Wright Parkway in Richmond Heights, for the period October 1st, 2006 through September 30th, 2021, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2026, and for additional revenue in the amount of $568,500.
Motion to adopt.
Second, Simon.
And, Mr. President, this lease is an amendment with Progressive Insurance for their corporate hangar facility at the county airport in Richmond Heights. Current lease expires on the 30th of September, and this extension will continue the arrangement until September 30th, 2026, which is 5 additional years. Again, this is revenue generating. 2021 through 2026 expected to generate I can't see, $568,000. So I would ask for my colleagues to support this legislation on second reading suspension.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Mr. President, I'd like to add my name.
Let's add Councilwoman Sunny Simon's name. At this time, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0214, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to Skills, Employment, and Training Services. It's for the period October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, to extend the time period to September 30th, 2022, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $1,108,274 for items for vendors A through H as listed on the agenda.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was heard on September 22nd in the Health Committee. Prior to this master contract, the Board of Controls they authorized 4 new vendors to this contract, so it's a total of 8 now moving forward. It's federally funded, and the dollars pass through the state. I ask my colleagues to please support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2021-0215, authorizing an amendment to contract number 824 with Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry for operations and case management services for a 365-bed men's emergency shelter located at 2100 Lakeside Avenue in Cleveland, and for facilitation and coordination of overflow shelter services for single adults and families at various locations. It's for the period January 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2022, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $768,609.21.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this contract was also heard on September 22nd. It requests adding additional funds. 100% of those funds comes from the CARES Act funds. So I ask my colleagues to pass this resolution so needed services can continue.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance 2021-0014, an uncodified ordinance authorizing the county executive to make a one-time conversion of exchange time into a straight-time payment for selected employees within the Department of Information Technology.
This item will move to the October 12, 2021 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second, Simon.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Ordinance 2021-0015, an uncodified ordinance authorizing the county executive to provide a one-time bonus to bargaining and non-bargaining county employees who have received the COVID-19 vaccine.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, this was heard in committee, and Mr. McAleer is here to explain it further.
Good evening, Council President, Council members. Chairwoman Chantel Brown had to leave early, so I wanted to just get up and briefly explain what this uncodified ordinance does. The Director of HR is also here, available to answer any questions. This would provide $100 in a form of a one-time bonus to all bargaining and non-bargaining employees that have received the vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine, and provided the required paperwork to the Department of Human Resources.
Mr. Chairman,
Questions or comments?
I got some questions, if you don't mind.
Councilman?
Thank you, it's probably to the HR Director, if you don't mind. Thank you, Mr. Budget Analyst. Thank you, Mr. President. Director, welcome.
Thank you. Jesse Drucker, Director of Human Resources.
Thank you for your testimony in the previous committee
Yes,
meeting.
thank
Just
you.
a couple of things came to my mind as we move forward here. Whose idea was this to come up with this particular plan?
The discussion emanated at the county executives level.
Okay, thank you. And were there any other options that were considered besides the $100 that were to
Not to
meet our
my
goals?
recollection, Councilman.
None? Okay. And just, can you tell me very specifically through my chairman, how is this going to be implemented?
So what we're going to do, Council President, is we're going to set a prompt up on my HR for people to submit their documentation where they can upload either a copy of their COVID card or their medical record that shows that they are fully vaccinated. We'll then process those and we will submit those to payroll for payment. I believe it was scheduled for December 10th, if I'm not mistaken. The payment on December 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you. And through my chair to the director, there's a whole bunch more that needs to be explained to me in regards to how it's going to be done. It sounds like very rough right there. We're going to put a portal up, they're going to put their name in, and all of a sudden they're all going to comply and everybody's going to get paid.
Well, it'll be transferred based on their employee ID number. It'll be transferred into the payroll system, and that they will receive it in a weekly paycheck.
Yeah. Can you continue further on how we're going to promote the real cause of this, of getting people vaccinated, get them interested in incentivizing them?
That's correct.
Can you tell me a little bit about how that's going to happen?
And we'll have mailings out to staff that say we're giving an incentive of $100. We are going to urge staff to become vaccinated.
Got it. And through the chair to my director, it's a game plan under development, would you say?
Yes.
So it's
Yes,
not
sir.
crystallized how we're going to actually try to get to the finish line?
I'm sorry?
It's not exactly crystallized right now how we're going to promote it to try to get us the 100% participation in the vaccine.
Just in the email that will be going out to staff, and the announcement through the county executives' messaging systems.
Through the chair to the director, is there a time frame where this is going to cease to exist, limited time offer, or is it going to stay?
It's a limited time, it's a limited, they will have to have reported it by November 14th, if my recollection's correct.
Oh, so this is just a one-time before November 14th?
Yes.
Everybody
But for
vaccinated,
everybody who's been vaccinated, irrespective of when they were vaccinated.
or anybody that needs to be vaccinated, they need to be vaccinated by November 4th?
That's correct. They have to be fully vaccinated by November 14th.
November 14th. So I'm puzzled's too strong, but we have a goal here of stimulating our workforce to say, let's get vaccinated. We have a short window, and they haven't been convinced at this point, so I don't think this $100, right? I just want to come to the goal
We
of
haven't
getting
discussed,
people vaccinated.
we have not discussed continuing it in 2022. The way the payroll works is the last payroll of 2021 needs to be what's called a perfect payroll, no additional add-ons. And the first payroll in 2022 needs to be a perfect payroll. We could pick that up again. We could pick up the vaccinations in 2022 with the second payroll.
This is a snapshot until November 14th, see how good we did. And if we did really well, or we still need a lot more work, we still have another opportunity come next year. Do you have the legislative authority to move forward on that one, or do you have to come back?
I'm very sorry.
Do you have the legislative authority to move forward in the next year?
Not at this
with
time.
this? It's only for this one-shot window that's done on November 14th in regards to compliance
There'll be
with,
the deadline of November 14th
okay, I
in
just
order
need
to
to
make
be,
in order to make the next to the last payroll in December.
good. Mr. President, I just want to be crystal clear, because as soon as this passes, we're going to get phone calls saying how to do it. I want to do my part to help stimulate a fully vaccinated workforce. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. President, I just have a follow-up.
Councilwoman Simon.
Were these questions asked in committee? I'm assuming that this was all, I'm assuming when it comes to us, normally these questions are resolved in committee. I just want to make sure that these questions were asked.
Okay. I was in committee, so I asked my questions. These came to me after I left committee, knowing I'd have the opportunity to further have dialogue with him. So
Thank you.
this is something that I felt important to bring up to help me understand my vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any further discussion or comments? Councilwoman?
As a follow-up, at one time I asked this, wondered if we've made any ground. What's the percentage of those employees that are fully vaccinated?
We've been using a 43%
Still at 43?
figure, yes.
And what would you say, and I wasn't in committee, is successful? Are you hoping for a 10%, 20%? Of course, you'd want everyone.
I would like to see us come up to a 70% vaccination rate.
Up to 70 by
Whether or
November
not we
14th.
can do that is another story. I think we would probably be successful at about a 60% vaccination rate.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilwoman Stevens?
Can you ballpark what this is going to cost us and how many people more need the number, the raw number?
I don't remember offhand, council member. I will get that figure
You'll
for
just
you.
email me, thank you.
Surely.
Further discussion? All right, all those, Madam Clerk, let's do a roll call.
Calling the roll, Ms. Baker, Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney,
Yes.
Mr. Tuma,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
No.
Mr. Schran is absent at the moment. Ms. Conwell,
Yes.
Ms. Brown is absent at the moment. Ms. Stevens,
Yes.
Ms. Simon,
Yes.
Council President Jones.
Yes.
At this time, the item is approved by majority vote with 8 council members voting in the affirmative and 1 council member casting a dissenting vote.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, miscellaneous committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
Mr. President,
Councilman Miller.
My colleagues, Finance and Budgeting Committee, will meet at our next regular time on Monday, October 4th at 1 p.m. for the administration update on ERP, and on Thursday, October 7th at 1 p.m. for our ERP consultant, Zig Berzins' report. There's a lot going on with ERP. There have been significant personnel changes, and the first parallel for the payroll WFM test is underway. I encourage all members of council to attend these meetings. The meeting on Monday will also include a presentation from Bob France, our financial consultant on county debt capacity and major capital project funding options. Thank you.
Mr. President, Public Works will meet at its regularly scheduled time next week. Thank you.
Mr. President, safety will be Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Mr. Applebaum will be giving a full presentation on the population of the jail.
Mr. President, Health and Human Services, Wednesday, October 6th at 1 p.m.
All right, and the next committee of the whole meeting will take place on Thursday, October 7th at 10 a.m.
And Mr. President,
Yes.
the Economic Development Committee will meeting Monday, October 4th at 3 o'clock for the items on the agenda.
All right. If there are no more committee reports, at this time, is there any miscellaneous business? All right, if nothing else holds our attention, our meeting is now adjourned.